Dons win again. Welcome back to the Don Pod. I'm Sam. I'm here with Nathan. Hello, Nathan. How are you?
I'm super. Thank you, Sam. How are you?
I'm well. We won. That's all I need in life.
That's what we do. Win.
2 in a row. Can you believe? I'm going to get
marching on towards the premiership, Sam.
Don't tell anyone that's like 2032 though. We're marching though. Don't worry about that. We are marching. The Mighty Dons 15-10-100 defeating the very scrappy Lions 13-12-90. Disposals, Merritt, another great game, 31. Hind, another good game, 27. Caldwell and Ridley, 26. For the depleted Lions, I guess, McCluggage, 29, Starcevic, 26, and Lockie Neal, the destroyer, just the 21. In front of the big sticks, Wright, 5 goals, Langford, 4. And then singles to Hobbs, Caldwell, Draper, Guelphy, Heppel, and Shield. Loving that list of singles every week. It's pretty bloody good. For the Lions, McCarthy 3, McInerney and Robinson 2, Rayner, Danaher, Hipwood, Cameron, Fort, and the first game of Michael with a lovely one, just the 1. We're a bit indifferent, aren't we? We're scared. We don't want to lose that pick 3.
No, well, that's right. I did find myself towards the end of the match saying, I really don't mind if Brisbane win this because, I think we've shown in the game that, we played really good footy. They're a better team than us. They probably should have run over us at some stage. Looked like they were really, I'd say crap, to be honest. I know people are going to say they had players out, but they played very poorly. Like they did not defend the ground. We had something like, about 80 more uncontested marks.
We were double at half time for uncontested ball.
And that tells you that they're not anywhere covering the ground. And watching the game, like there was hardly pressure on the play moving. And we were just as bad. We were letting them go up the other end anytime they wanted. So, but, it's been a while. I couldn't tell you when since we've beaten Brisbane at Brisbane.
I was actually told today that we have a really good record against them up there with the last year's loss about the only loss we've had to them for a while. So there you go.
Find that hard to believe because I've read somewhere that they were like the 131 of their 33 games up there or something like that.
All right. Well, we'll quickly fact check that as we go. I was going to say something then. Who is your star? Well, we need to talk about a few players actually. Probably the best on ground, the most influential player. I know I asked you the question, but was Jai Caldwell.
Oh, he was brilliant. And again, young player. Like, how many games has Jai played? 20.
I'm trying 25. To research something else.
Really should just research. We should know more about our players before we go into it. Let's just say number 27, and we'll make sure that we'll pretend that's real. Like he's played 27 games of football. He's, was a number 11 pick, and now all of a sudden he's been given that task, which I believe he sort of put his hand up for. And just wow, like to keep Lockie Neal and. Like, I don't think I don't reckon he gave away a free kick either to Lockie Neal. Like, wasn't that sort of, where he was right on the edge of giving away free kicks all the time? He just beat him. He just got in front of him and played really well.
Yeah. And I would have been happy with the game if he'd kept Neal to 21 and no impact on the scoreboard. But the fact he had near 37 tackles, a goal the other way, and a very good goal when it was really important.
There's a
unreal.
lot.
Got the nine coaches' votes for Jai, along with Wright, who actually got 9 as well.
Yep.
Now, just
go.
No, you go, please.
I was going to say, do we now say that we've got a defensive midfielder?
I think we've got a midfielder capable of playing defensive roles on a player, but he was still damaging. He still
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I was go back to sort of like Cameron Ling, who used to be had a tag someone or keep him, not as effective, but still get a lot of the footy himself. And I always thought it was going to be kind of McGrath because he, had sort of a lot of attributes that work well. But after that game, I'm like, so if we come up against a team that we're worried about 1 or 2 guys, and I think, it's whole team defense, obviously, in these things, but there's nothing wrong with plonking him on them and say, well, you do a bit of work on him and get your own footy.
Yep. Exactly. That's what he did. And it was influential. Just on the Gabba. So we lost to them last year, specifically at the Gabba. That is the last loss against them at that venue since, May 2009.
Wow.
Who knew? We did lose to them at Carrara, So, I mean,
okay, there you go.
We've lost to them in Melbourne, but specifically at that ground.
Fair enough.
Decent little record. Now, your boy, our boy.
Boy, he's ours. He's not yours. He's ours.
Big 2-litre, 7-seater air conditioner, Peter.
Yeah.
5 goals. Another lovely pure strike from outside 50. 5th in the Coleman, equal 5th with someone. I have it here. Bear with me.
King.
Max King.
Yep.
10 goals off the leader now in Curnow. Yep. So, what a pickup. You've got some stats on him.
Well, I did a little. I couldn't sleep this morning at about 4:30, so I started thinking about it. And I was curious to know how many goals in the 2 years since the transition of when he came to us and Danaher went to there. So Danaher's kicked 72 goals in that 2 years.
How many games?
I didn't do games because I don't care.
Sorry.
Because, I know he's had a few weeks injuries. He missed 3 or 4
both at
games.
the same time. That's fine. Yep.
Yeah, well, it's just over the last 2 years. If you get injured, that's part of not being durable. That's not my problem. Whereas Peter Wright has kicked 69. Now, 3 goals difference. Now, to throw a bit more icing on the top of that cake.
Please do.
For I'm not sure if it's first year or first 2 years, Gold Coast actually had to pay most of his wage when he came to us.
Definitely the first season.
Yeah, definitely first season. The other thing about that is when Danaher left, we got a compensation pick, which pick 7 turned into pick 9 because of what happened at the draft. Yep. That was Archie Perkins.
Was it? I thought it was Reed.
No, it was Perkins.
Okay.
I did the research.
Okay, good job.
So, all up, we got a guy for basically nothing who's kicked 3 less goals and Archie Perkins. And is 3 years younger.
5th in the Coleman.
So, all up, it's Moneyball.
To be honest, has a way better nickname.
And to be honest, in the game, watching Joe Danaher play, I couldn't get over how just genuinely useless he was. He was just.
Can we talk about Laverde though on that?
Yeah, 100%.
Now you just told me before we hit record that Lav has conceded the most amount of goals than any other player in the comp, which I am very forgiving of because of the tasks that he has had. But every time the ball was kicked to Danaher, it was a wrestle. It was body. It was challenge. And Danaher kicked 1-1, was it?
Yep.
just giving away.
He wouldn't let him get a run and jump at it because he knew that's where Danaher is dangerous.
And the goal Joe kicked was on the ground.
Yeah.
The ball hit the deck and he's agile. That's one of his strengths.
He's very, very good at that. That's where he's better than Peter, I reckon.
Well, yeah, but Peter's solid.
Well, there's not many guys that are Joe Danaher's height that are as agile as him.
Yeah. I like that we're on first name basis here with Peter.
Yeah, it's probably Max King and all the other Kings. They're pretty good.
Well, and Jeremy Cameron and Curnow is pretty agile as far as it goes.
Jeremy Cameron wouldn't be 203 centimetres.
Oh, no, not that height, but as a big forward, he's fairly...
Yeah. Well, Jeremy Cameron's very, very agile.
196, Cameron.
Yeah, that's not 203, mate.
Oh, thanks. I did pass Kinder. At, I know they're
numbers,
not the same
you did
thing.
numbers?
Thank you, yeah. So, yeah, big ups to Lav. That was a great game.
And the other one I want to throw... Yep, and BZT again.
Yep. He's everywhere.
Seriously. What did he drink? What did he have something?
We can't go there.
Oh, yeah, but I'll take that back. But I was a bit skeptical about him in the last, year or two. He'd play a game or two and you go, oh, geez, he looks nervous. He looks lost. But the number of times he just was in the right spot to take an uncontested mark because he was reading and he was brave enough to run off a man because I'm sure he had someone near him. I just couldn't see him. But he was... And that tackle he did on Neil, I think in the last quarter was great. It was just... He just is showing so much. And... If we can get him going like that and Reed, if we can get fit and come back, then I really think we've got there's our 3 or 4 tools to pick your best, depending on who we're playing. But Laverde is playing a brilliant job on playing on extra tall players. Ridley was, I thought, a lot better too in this game. He seemed to be a bit more free. He sort of, wasn't trying to cover too much. He was playing on a man and then floating across and getting involved the way we want him to do. And then his kicking and his decision making is really important.
Yeah. 26 touches for you. Sort of one of your better defenders is huge. Merritt, another good week from Zachy Merritt. Probably missed a goal he should have kicked, but 31 touches and just finding form again when we were pretty critical of him.
And 8 tackles.
Yeah, 8 tackles. Who else did we give? Oh, that was our votes. Never
I
mind.
thought Shield was very good too.
Yes.
Langers.
Langers.
Oh, I forgot about Langers here. 4 is best.
I've got a cheat sheet here. Why am I not looking at my cheat sheet? Jesus.
Well, the other one I'd like to mention, Sam, who's I'm a bit critical of, was Guelphy.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a play, like he played really well, I thought. And I wondered if it's because he was further up the ground, playing more of almost a wing role, sort of swapping with Langford, who'd gone more to that half forward role, who I wouldn't mind him playing a lot more football in that role because he's just so hard to match up on. Anyway, there was a point where Guelphy had 2 players on him, and he just fought and scratched and got the ball out, and I think got the free kick for it as well. Like, he just really played a great game.
Got a free kick right at the end, putting his head over the ball.
Yep.
I
and
wholeheartedly agree. I don't know what the Brisbane players meant to do, but as long as our bloke has his head over the footy, picking it up.
We were going to win it at that point, I felt like, with 40 seconds to go. It was deep in our forward 50.
Yeah, would have been.
They had to do a lot to get it out of there.
Yeah. But like I said, as long as our bloke's got his head over the football, and as long as you are getting the football, then you should be protected. And that's what the free kick was for. So I might feel differently if it was against us, but that's my hot take.
Yep.
The game as a whole was not pretty.
It wasn't a great game.
We were pretty poor. They were really poor, especially for the standard they expect. But we talked about this. No, Harris Andrews was the big one because obviously Pete kicked 5, and whoever was on Peter Wright just did not play him right at all. I've never seen Peter Wright look so friggin' solid in the air. That was unreal.
Well, that goes back to that what Langford was doing to Danaher, that the Brisbane defenders were not doing to. They were letting him run and jump at a lot of balls, and when he's the height he
took some really nice marks.
Yep.
So no Harris Andrews, no Daniel Rich, who's their best ball user off halfback for sure. Coleman is a pretty unknown. He's been playing well, and no Zorko, who's been in and out of the side anyway.
He's been pretty injured this year. Last time we played him, he was limping around. Remember?
Yeah. They had good players out, but their midfield was still McCluggage, was still Neil, was still Jared Lyons.
Yep. And they both ruckman played.
McInerney, who actually was the one that did hurt us on the scoreboard.
Yep.
And then they still had their forward line of Hipwood, Danaher, Charlie Cameron, Mitch Robinson kicked too. I don't know how that happened, but anyway.
Yeah. He's a big celebrator. He's one of those. He celebrates like a first quarter goal is a big celebration. I'm a bit. Yeah, just back that down. Like fourth quarter celebrations, I'm all for.
Mitch Robinson's a bit of a meme though. I do like him. But they still had good players on the park, and they had a shit game. I'll give them that. But it wasn't just because they were missing what I would class to be 3 critical players from the back half. But, your midfielders can still do a job to get the ball forward. And your defence isn't, as we know, your defence isn't solely reliant on Harris Andrews. And if they can't cover that, they've got issues.
They're not going to win flags.
Richmond covered Rance. Was that 2018? So they didn't win the flag, but they were bloody good.
No, I reckon that they did win a flag when he wasn't.
Was it the GWS year? Was it 2019?
Yeah,
they lost Rance in like round 2.
Yep.
And won the flag. So depth is important.
Yeah, and players knowing to play their role and how to cover other players.
So as much as I'm going to sit here and be like, it was a pretty depleted Brisbane side, we've still got to go out there as a team that is third last on the ladder and kick 100 points again. At the time of playing them, we've now beaten 6th, and 3rd.
Yep.
There's some good signs.
And I agree with you. Look, Brisbane were ordinary, but that's not our fault.
No.
We can only play the team they put out in the park. And
how often do we play a shit side and we play their level?
Yep. Yeah, no. Look, the big concern still for us was how we defended. They waltzed down the other end pretty much as they wanted. What I think I'm seeing is what gets us in games is the way we're attacking now. And because of guys like Stringer, Langford, and probably a bit of Snelling, but, Peter Wright and Jones. So we've got more options. Whereas when we were in trouble, those games, when we just couldn't go forward, it's because Peter Wright was about the only target up there and he was in the ruck, and when he went in the ruck, we talked about how that just made us horrible. And by playing Phillips and Draper, who is one of the most excitable young men going around in football, Sam, to see him kiss Guelphy at the end of the game on the lips.
I did see a lovely little photo of him in the rooms with his Powerade
Yep.
A bit of Titanic about it. Paint me like
Yep.
one of your French girls.
Yep. No, he's just so. I saw a comment on Twitter. It's like an under 14 kid, an overaged under 14 kid playing who doesn't really know how to play the game, and he's just running around, bustling through everyone. And
that goal he kicked, I swear he nearly misses his foot every time he kicks the football.
He nearly missed that too. If you watch the replay from one angle, it's gone straight across, nearly hit the left hand post.
Yeah,
but yeah,
well, there's not a lot to talk about with this one. I don't feel. I think they were crap.
I'm really excited about next week. What do you feel?
Well, we'll get to that. Can we just
put
on the back burner for a minute? I want to do the Willie Dick Who Am I, because we copped a lot of hate. Really, we copped it last week because we
hate from who?
I chose not to put it in. It was a conscious decision. I didn't forget because we had a big win against the Swans, bit of an up you to the Swannies. Whereas this is a bit more, up yours, Joe. And that's about it.
I was so happy with Big Joe Danaher. It's brought me so much joy.
Yeah, same. So who am I? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
First one in 2 weeks. How are you feeling?
Horrible, as always. You know how I am at these things. I'll just Kyle Langford. Hey.
Swear to God. If it was Kyle, like bring the whole show down.
Oh, funny.
So, first clue for 6 points.
Yep.
I played 209 games of AFL football, winning 107, losing 101, and drawing just one game.
What? Sorry, you might not be Essendon, so that's the thing I'm going to pick up from that. Can you do that again, please?
Do you want the clue again?
Yes, please.
Sure thing. I played 209 games of AFL football.
Mm-hmm.
I won 107, lost 101, and drew one.
He says doesn't, but he doesn't play for Essendon. Tommy Hafey.
Well, no, for 5 points. I grew up.
That's hard to guess. You got to admit that's hard to guess a player.
This is the point of the 6 point guess, right? That is the whole idea. For 5 points, I grew up in Broken Hill and was drafted to Essendon from the Bendigo Pioneers.
Okay, Bendigo. I should know this.
Well, not yet. You haven't had a lot of information.
Yeah, but not many have come from. Jake Stringer did. No. That was Dustin Martin came from the Bendigo Pioneers. Have you said he played for Essendon?
He was drafted to Essendon from the Bendigo Pioneers. Okay.
No, Dustin Martin. I don't know.
Dustin Martin wasn't drafted.
I know, but I don't know. Can't think of any other Essendon player that's come from Bendigo at the moment. Can I?
Righto. Danny in the chat has got it.
Damn it, Danny.
Well done, Danny. That's 5 points for you. And again, if you Googled it, you'll bring the whole show down. But for you, Nathan, for 4 points, I was a Rising Star nominee in round 11, 1999. Adam Goods would go on to win the award with another Essendon player of the same name coming fourth.
Ramanatskis?
No.
No, but that's who came fourth. Adam Ramanatskis? No?
I'm going to stick with no.
Okay.
I like that clue. Essendon player of the same name. That was big from me. No, stop. Sorry, no. Yeah. I'm going to clarify that clue because I can see where you're going because Adam Goods. The Essendon player that came fourth shares the name with the Who Am I?
Oh, right. Oh, see, I read it the other way. My bad.
Yeah, I know. That's fine. I'll just clarify that for you. For 3 points, I was traded to Fremantle at the end of the 2006 season. So well done earlier on with your first clue.
2006. Who Gumbleton's gone over there? Not even he didn't play that many games.
Gummy was drafted in 06 too.
Yeah.
In the chat, yes, Phil. That is who got fourth.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Now, here's where you should get it. This is where I'm going to start judging you. For 2 points, I was famously reported for elbowing Cameron Ling, resulting in broken cheekbones and a broken eye socket. I was given the most severe suspension at the time for 11 years, which was an 8-week suspension.
I don't know.
Oh, it's iconic. Running past him with the elbow out. Cameron Ling, red hair going everywhere.
No. Was he playing for Essendon at the time? Don't answer that.
Well, no, he wasn't, because it's only a 2 point clue. You should.
Yeah, I've no idea.
All right. For 1 point, a bit harder this week. I coached Gold Coast for 3 games, and I'm
What?
currently an assistant coach at GWS.
Oh, really? Sam, McVeigh, Mark McVeigh?
Currently an assistant coach at GWS.
Not Mark McVeigh, the other McVeigh.
Nope. I am Dean.
Oh, Dean Solomon. Dean Solomon, he was too from Broken Hill, but I don't think he came through Bendigo. That's where I was.
Oh, again, that's Wiki. So
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I'm not going to argue with you, but
stuff. But
I didn't remember he's from Broken Hill.
And for those
I
playing,
don't remember
at home,
that pit on Ling either.
Dean Rioli was the bloke who came fourth.
Hold on, Dean Solomon.
Yes,
He didn't go play for Fremantle.
yes, he did. Don't do this to me. There's literally a photo. There's literally a photo of him on Wikipedia. I still got it open.
I do not recall him going to play for Fremantle for 100 games or for any game.
Dean Solomon played, if I can just get my mouse out the way.
No, I cannot believe this.
33 plus 18. So what? 51 games for Fremantle.
Really?
Yep. And he elbowed Cameron Ling at. I'm pretty sure it was at GMHBA or Cardinia Park.
I must have stopped watching him play for a while.
Absolutely wrecked him.
I don't recall that at all. Him playing for Fremantle.
Well, that's not my fault, is it? They're champion.
No, it's not your fault at all because I'm old and my memory's faded.
That's yep. I do fact check slightly, so here's what it is. That's 1 point. No, not even a point. I had to give that to you.
No, I got nothing. I got nothing.
But well done to Danny, who got 5 points. And if
well done, Danny,
you're playing along and beat that, let us know. Very quickly, I'm just going to read our votes because we both did do the same thing this week.
Did we both get the same votes?
We did.
No.
But you can explain yours. I'll do mine. Caldwell,
yeah, you do.
Influential in the game. Huge. Big Peter Wright, 5 goals. Again, influential in the game. And I gave 1 to Laverde. Could very easily have been BZT, Merritt, among others. Langford, sorry. But I went Lav because it was just obvious. It was a really obvious battle he had with Joe. And I loved it. Yep.
And I reckon he was really up for it. Like, and I felt the same with Caldwell. They were up for that fight. That's what they wanted. They wanted to win those 1-on-1s. I reckon that was really fun. And Peter Wright, I loved. Like, he didn't start really well. Like, he got bumped out. He didn't take many. Maybe had a shot early in the first quarter or something, or late in the first quarter. But as that second and third quarter, really found his way, and he just started demanding the footy. Like, get out of the space a few times. He said to a few players. So it's been a while since I've been as excited about a big man in our club, who I hope doesn't leave.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
What I loved, and I don't remember if it was Alistair Lynch that picked up on it. One of the commentary team, maybe it was it was Dunstall. I knew it was a good forward.
Yep.
Picked up on it, and there was a great replay which showed the ball coming in from, say, the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
There's the left as you look at it from behind the goals. Right went out to the right-hand side, took his opponent out there. The kick went to the left-hand top point of the square, the goal square, and he was able to run, jump, and take a pack mark.
Yep.
But again, was what we were saying about not having the opponent not having touch on him and all that, which was so obvious about Laverde.
Yep.
But giving himself space to run into and not getting, because early in the season in particular, he just kept running under the freaking footy.
Yeah. And that was an issue about him up at the Gold Coast. That was something. A big knock on him was that he would run under the footy,
But giving him that run and jump at the ball, he's so tall. If he gets that,
and he's a great clunker. Like, he's not. He's got good hand. Oh, beautiful!
No matter
that
where
one that
he
hit
is,
that one that hit the post was 55, and it hit. And the commentators went, "It's hit middle. Like, it's hit. Like, it hasn't just gone thud into the middle."
Yeah, he had that a couple of weeks ago. He hit the post, I think, against St Kilda from about 20 out. And it just about rocketed back to the 50.
We really need to probably stop talking about him because we do go on a bit.
It's just
been a highlight. It's like him and Nick
Coleman.
Martin.
How long, apart from Joe in 2017, how long since we've had a player kick that many goals? Be Lloyd.
Well, String kicked 40 last year, but that.
Yeah, okay. But a lot of those came late, so he was never really in the Coleman conversation.
No.
And neither's Pete,
not
for what
really,
it's worth.
because the Coleman was one last year with like about 50, I reckon, wasn't it? Or 52,
it was
wasn't
low
it? Horrible?
60s, I think.
Yeah. And look, Nick Martin's and Ambrosio, like, there's some really great. This year's what we're going to take out of this is going to be these young kids and the development we've seen come in some of these players. Because look, next year hopefully we can be a bit better, but it's going to be that 2024 and 25, and we're going to start to see a lot of these guys hit the 100 game mark. And that's when we'll start to see real development in our team. Because at the moment, it's Merritt, it's Stringer, it's Heppel, who are the older guys, and maybe Shield. I'll throw him in there. And then there's a lot of guys like Langford, who's about to crack 100, or he's maybe just cracked 100.
Parrish a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Parrish should be around that mark as well. And then it's like Caldwell, it's Perkins, it's Draper, it's Durham, it's all those guys that are in about that 30 game mark.
Yeah, that's the future. We will get a softer draw next year, being where we are now, which will be of great.
We'll get a good draft pick.
Get a nice little draft pick. Just before we head into the comments, I want to talk about next week against the Gold Coast, who are now officially solidly my second favourite team. That game against
Sam
Richmond
and I was so happy.
Saturday was just beautiful.
Goal after the siren to Richmond.
I'm not ashamed. I fist pumped. I got excited. It was just, for one, footy in that kicking a goal after the siren's massive, unless it's against your team. Everyone loves it. Who doesn't love that sort of stuff? The fact it's Gold Coast, they've re-signed their coach last week. Bit of faith.
Some good players.
40 points down. I love Took Miller.
I think 34 or something in the draft. No one wanted
him. Just great stuff. But we do play them this week, so I'm going to reel back the compliments.
I did laugh. Somebody did a double play thing of the Carmichael Hunt goal.
Yeah.
And
something
then this
Richmond
one.
And after the siren goals. How good.
I
reckon Noah Anderson. Was it Noah Anderson? Might go down in a bit more history books than
probably a better player.
Yeah, a little bit. We do play them this week. I think it's a good test because while they are 12th, they're solid.
They're playing
they
very
play
good
footy. They have a good ruckman. They have a good midfield. Chol and the other guy from Carlton, a big fella.
The forward.
Oh my God, starts with C. Yeah, you all know who I mean. Playing good footy. Chol has kicked a really surprising amount of goals this year.
Yeah, he's like at about 30, I think, isn't he?
34 goals this year for him.
Yep. Rowell and Miller and Anderson are good midfielders. Their ruckman's been playing great football.
Casbolt was the other bloke.
Casbolt, yeah, that's it. Look, seriously, they're a good team, and really, it's great for the AFL too that they are actually playing good football.
I'm so happy that they've kept some players like Took, like the King brother, like Rowell. It's just good. They are 32 points, so they're 11th. And their last two games have been very, very narrow losses to Collingwood and Port. So they could very easily be in that 8 at the expense of Richmond, funnily enough. But again, with the whole pick 3 argument around, there's no shame in losing to Gold Coast now for a start. It's not like it used to be. I think we'll win, funnily enough. I just think
is it up there or here?
It's in Melbourne, 4:40 on Sunday.
Oh, yuck. I hate that.
It is yuck. I want to go because otherwise I'm not going to get to another game for the rest of the year. But
yucky time, though.
It is a yuck time. I don't know. It's a game I'm not really worried about because win or lose, I kind of like Gold Coast and I kind of like pick 3.
Oh, look, I've felt that the last couple of weeks. The Sydney game, the Brisbane game, and it'll be the same this game, is that the results have changed since, I'm actually sort of barracking for a loss because of the draft picks. But I also want us to play good footy. I want,
we love winning. It's all about winning.
But to be honest, I'd happily to lose to Gold Coast. If we could beat Collingwood and Richmond on the run home, that'd be good enough for me. Okay, that's enough.
And honestly,
I'd put the sticks away, boys.
I'd cop losing to North just to stop them getting a priority pick. If we can beat Richmond, I don't care about Collingwood either. If we can beat Richmond last round and knock them out of the 8 by winning
make them
and have them finish 9th, sign truck up on a 10-year deal. Straight away.
There's there less talk, you reckon, this week with Alistair Clarkson?
Yeah, results talk, winning talks.
Yep.
We had a big chat about this last week, me and you, just on our lunch break. I'm pro Clarkson, but I'm anti sack and truck at this point. So I don't know where I'm at on that.
Yeah, and my view is you don't move heaven and earth for one person. It's not
And
about Clarkson. And Clarkson's obviously been a great coach, but he's also had great people around him. He's had great
and had a good
He's
list.
done really well in drafts, like at the start of his team. So
it is a weird one. I think Truck deserves his third year, and
100%.
then we can make a bit more of an assessment. Some comments, not too many tonight. Lachlan playing pretty bloody well for a bottom of the ladder team or bottom team. Love my boys. Yep. Go the Bombers. Wayne, sorry, but I really need the Bombers to lose this weekend. It's worth 27K to me. Whatever that means. All the best.
I will be barracking for the Suns for you.
Expect a donation on next week's stream if we do lose.
Yep. That seems fair. Buy us a coffee.
Yep. Alfie, screw pick 3. I want to win every game and grow in confidence, then come out hot next year. I agree in sentiment, but we seem to do that every year. So let's just get
until we can turn around and win games at the start of the year, I don't see the point of winning games at the end of the year. It just deflates we get the media right about us and we go into the start of the season and
Phil's back. Phil's a regular contributor. How good was Ham on the weekend? 2 disposals for 3 clangers. Yeah, standard.
That's great stats. Great stats, Phil. You should become a stats man with that.
Phil also, sorry, that just reloaded on me. Phil also liked Jai's game. Jesus, too many J's. Jai's game, gave Neil a bath. Also says Harry Jones needs to lift Phil. He's been back for a little while now and hasn't had much of an impact apart from taking a defender away from Peter. I think that's the thing. Takes a defender away and he's getting experience. He's 20. Like, it's fine. He's got time.
You were saying that he's probably... We were talking earlier about if we were, looking into the players, the players' names been thrown around all over the place at this time of year. What are we after? Like, I don't think we're after a Dunkley. I just can't see how we'd get that. Like, we can't give up draft picks.
This is the thing. If we were like, if we were going to look at that team and go, we're one player off a premiership, it'll be a key defender. But we're not. We've got time. We've got time to wait for Reeb. We've got time to let BZT grow a bit more.
Yeah.
We've got time for all that.
Yeah.
Maybe. And depth in the forward line still. Stewart sitting there as depth. That's okay.
Well, Baldwin and Francis, we're not sure what...
Yeah, we're not sure about Frango at the end of the year.
Yeah, we're not sure about Frango.
As well. Only 19. Even though he looks like an old man, he's only 19. So, yeah, I don't know. Josh,
I personally hope we don't chase a big name player. I hope that's what we don't do.
If we do, we haven't learned from the Shield debacle. And Shield has proven to be an okay player, but we're still a waste of 2 first-round draft picks.
But at the moment, Shield and Smith have turned out okay. But if you look at this, sorry, not Smith, Shield and Stringer have. But Smith, for all we know, he might not play footy again. Like, I don't know how bad these knees are.
Yep.
And Sard left. So those 4 players, 2 have come on to be pretty good. And Stringer is still... He's iffy with his whole body. Like, we still worry about...
Sard, we moneyballed a little bit. We got more than we paid for him.
Definitely. But we went after Smith, and he's played one good year, really.
One very good year, and then, got injured. Josh says, I have a signed 2,000 grand final Dean Solomon jumper. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Does it Fremantle? Did he go play Fremantle?
No, 2006. He was a premiership player at Essendon.
I know he was.
Sit down.
The Freo period.
Phil, again, gave 3 votes to Caldwell, 2 to Pete, and 1 to Merritt. But honestly, BZT, Lav, Langers, Hind, Shield, any of them could be there with the 1 vote. Yep, I think that's a sign of a good win. Luke gave 1 vote to Ham. I think that might be satire.
I still can't believe that we're our best at 22 are pretty good, but at 23 and 24, we just turned to rubbish.
Lee, oh, for God's sake, sorry, boys and girls, the comments like to reload and disappear. Lee says, don't want to lose to North Melbourne. We need to win that by 6 or 7 goals. Disagree, because it's only percentage now between us and 13th. So
yeah, well, we're equal wins with the next 3 teams above us, who are what? GWS, Adelaide, and Hawthorn.
Going up, Adelaide, Hawthorn, GWS. Yep.
Yeah, so we're fighting out between those 3 to where draft picks will end up.
Murray said Guelphy very underrated. We did think he had a good game.
So. Yeah, no, Guelphy, look, I'm the first to admit I don't like a lot of what... Like, Guelphy, there was a few weeks ago, he played a really good tagging forward role, and it was great. But then the week after that, he sort of went back to sort of not doing nothing or not doing anything. So whereas this week, seeing him up on that sort of wing, I thought a lot of his possession came from that sort of area. He was really good, really, really good. And I said Langford was excellent as a half forward. And seriously, Langford could play out as a half forward and be a very, very good one.
His kicking's just
beautiful,
amazing. He's tall. He can take a mark. Yeah,
he's clever. He gets space. He's got, Yep.
Love it. All right. Can you just give me a tip, please, for the Gold Coast game?
Oh, I'm going to pick us. I still think that form is the thing. Confidence, the big thing. And I think we're starting to build that. I'll pick us by 22.
Okay, I'm going to pick us by 3 points. Bit of a thriller on a Sunday afternoon. Maybe a week ago after the siren. Peter Wright from 55 on the paint.
Well, Peter Wright against his old team, yeah.
No disrespect to Gold Coast. I do quite enjoy their brand of footy.
No
So, we have a pretty crappy game to watch this week in the win. Let's have a good game next week and not worry too much about the result. Would be nice. Just a good game of footy.
I would hope that it's a little bit more contested. Well, it was pretty contested, but I'd like to see a bit more. I'd like to see us defend a bit better, to be honest. But that's a whole other issue.
If I'm going to put my crazy hat on, Peter to kick 10, take the lead in the Coleman, and we'll win by 13 goals. Yeah.
Jesus, that is your crazy hat. I'd go Peter to kick 3.
Well, as long as he keeps kicking a few, I'm happy.
They've got some good defenders down there at the Suns, as they've shown.
Yep. Is it Sam Day? One of them.
I know he's their forward.
He plays for
broken.
Hawthorn. Oh, okay. Don't worry. Don't mind me. Opposition analysis, not my forte. Clearly.
I think there is a Sam. There's another day but it's not the same day because Sam Day was an early draft pick for the Gold Coast, and he just
Will Day plays for Hawthorn. That's the other day.
Will Day, that's one. And what's interesting too, before we go, is that I was looking at when I was thinking about this, I was looking at the Peter trade, the Peter Wright trade, and the articles back then talked about how with Sam Day and not Max King, the other King. What's the other King's name? Ben King, yeah. With those two coming on, they found that Peter Wright wasn't needed. And I'm like, and since he left, like Sam Day's done a knee or maybe 2, and Ben King's done a knee. And you think, gee, that's just horrible luck.
They've done well out of Chol and Casbolt, but that really shouldn't be any sort of duo that works, to be fair.
No, you're right. But their best players are,
that's all about their midfield, though.
Yeah.
You give them that sort of use inside 50, they're going to hurt because of their midfield is damaging. So, anyway, we might leave it there for this evening. Thank you for listening, wherever you might be listening from. Again, no Thursday night review. We'll just be back this time next week for the
Since we've stopped doing that, we've been winning. Yep,
it's all because of us. We will never podcast again on a Thursday night in the history of the Essendon football.
We'll win a flag next year on that.
Yeah, solid. Solid. All right, go Dons.
Go Bombers.